rain really hard. 74 degrees, the winds out of the west at 8 miles an hour, still quite humid at 53%. And we have mostly cloudy skies downtown. And hi, everybody, Jim Hunter and Mike Bordick. And Mike, this is a game the Orioles really want to get. They've come close to sweeping series so far in the year. They've been denied each time. But a win tonight, they complete the 3-0 homestand, head out to Minnesota, and at a minimum, they'll be tied for first when they get to Minneapolis.
A great opportunity, obviously, like you said, to sweep this tough ball club in the Royals. I mean, they were playing some really good baseball coming into this series, and the Orioles have managed to come away with the first 2 games. So a big night tonight. Obviously, Jeremy Guthrie's pitching very well, but Freddie Garcia has another opportunity to prove himself and solidify a spot here as the 5th starter.
Orioles are already guaranteed of winning their 8th series on the year, 8 out of 11. And they also bring into tonight's game a 4-game winning streak. It's the first time all year they've put together 4 consecutive wins. And you can see why here. The team batting .243, 6 home runs, but they're averaging 5.5 runs a game. Starters, the ERA below 4. And the bullpen has been fabulous. Saves in all 4 games and an ERA of 2.25. And that's been the magic number for this team. When they get 4 or more runs, they're pretty tough to beat. They've been doing that over the last 4 games.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, like we talked about in the open with Nate McLouth and Manny Machado getting on base so consistently, obviously Adam Jones and Chris Davis, Matt Wieters feasting on those opportunities to score runs. And 5.5 runs per game, that's a huge number for a team. And tough team to beat when they're able to manufacture that many runs.
And it's all about winning the series. Yeah, you like to get your 2 out of 3 and move on, but when you've won the first 2, you want to be greedy. You want them to go out there tonight, get this sweep, and move on. It's a difference. They come in 8 above 500 tonight. They can go out 9 or 7, so that's why it's so big.
And what's so impressive, too, is the way they've done it. I mean, a tough West Coast swing, and then to come back in here for 3 games. So they've been able to maintain some really good focus throughout this tough stretch of ball games, and this is a really good opportunity for them to really go into Minnesota with a lot of confidence.
So tonight here at Oriole Park, it's the finale against Kansas City. Old friend Jeremy Guthrie on the mound for the Royals. Freddie Garcia, his first home start as an Oriole. Delightful evening for baseball. Orioles and Royals, the finale of 3. Here is the Kansas City lineup for tonight. And Ned Yost shaking it up a little bit. The Royals have lost 3 in a row for the first time this year. So Alcides Escobar will lead off. And Lorenzo Cain moves up to the number 2 spot. Cain has been on a tear, 10 for his last 28 over his last 7 games with 5 RBIs. Alex Gordon, who had been leading off, moves down to number 3. That pushes Billy Butler to the cleanup spot. Eric Hosmer at first with Salvador Perez catching. Mike Moustakas at third, Jeff Francoeur in right, and Chris Getz getting his first start in this series. He'll be at second base and bat ninth.
And here's a look at the scouting report tonight for Freddie Garcia. Opportunistic. Freddie Garcia came over from the Padres. Padres let him go in spring training. He went down to Norfolk and dealt. And in his first start against the Angels, pitched very well, only giving up 2 runs and 3 hits in 6 2/3. Well, here's another chance for Freddie Garcia to solidify his spot as the number 5 starter. Adds and subtracts. He's a veteran pitcher, 36 years old, over 13 years in the big leagues. He knows how to pitch. Got a good fastball, gets up around 88 miles an hour, but a great changeup. So you'll see him mixing up his speeds a lot tonight, and he exploits impatience. If this Kansas City lineup is not patient up there, they're going to chase a lot of tough pitches. Freddie Garcia is going to have to make weak contact and put it in play.
Coming off the no decision last Saturday in his Orioles debut in Anaheim, and certainly pitched well enough to win. You saw just the 2 runs in 6 2/3, but the bullpen in the 8th inning, an inning after he left, allowed the Angels to tie, and then the Orioles came back and won it in extra innings. So it turned out okay for the team, but Freddie was denied the win in his Orioles debut. So Rick Adair, Buck Showalter going with Freddie Garcia on normal rest. This would have been Miguel Gonzalez's turn in the lineup. Miguel not only pushed back today, put on the disabled list with the blister problem on his pitching hand. So here goes Garcia, and there's a strike, and we're underway. Cedes Escobar 1 out of 8 in the series. He is a stolen base threat if he gets on. The Orioles have done a good job keeping him off the bases. High fly ball center field. Jones back a few steps. Adam will get there. And on 2 pitches, 1 away in the Kansas City first.
Let's take a look at the Orioles defense tonight. Nate McLouth over in left, Jones in center, Markakis back in right field, Hardy and Flaherty once again up the middle, Machado and Davis on the corners, and Matt Wieters doing the catching for Freddie Garcia.
Here's Lorenzo Cain in the number 2 spot. Cain also has just 1 hit in the series, but he's 7th in batting with that .327 average in the American League. Finally blossomed. He's doing now what the Royals thought he would do when they acquired him from Milwaukee in the Zach Greinke trade. Ned Yost doing a good job in Kansas City, has his team above 500. They're at 17 13, even with the 3-game losing streak. And there's a strike, 1-1. Royals a game and a half back of the Tigers in the AL Central. Slap foul the other way, and it's 1-2. First, Freddie Garcia, 36 years old, and he's in his 15th big league season. And Buck Showalter talking about Garcia and the veteran presence that he brings to the mound before the game. He said one thing about Garcia, he's a watcher. As that one just misses inside, 2-2. He watches, he observes, he sees what other teams are doing. He sees how his teammates maybe get them out in the first 2 games in this series. And he knows how to avoid, as Buck says, the traps in the lineup. There are certain guys he knows that can hurt him. He'll pitch around those guys. Here's the 2-2, popped up. Back of the plate. Wieters hoping for a play. CB Buckner got in his way, but it's over the screen and out of play. And Buckner apologizing to Wieters as they go back to home plate.
Some pretty good pass protection right there by CB. Freddie Garcia, most wins in the American League, 151 wins for Freddie Garcia. He does have 152, but 1 in the National League with the Phillies. Andy Pettitte, of course, leading the way, 211. CC Sabathia, 184, 164 for Cologne, and Mark Burley with 162.
And he got him off speed pitch that floated down and away, and Lorenzo Cain couldn't reach it. So a strikeout for Garcia and 2 away.
Well, probably his best pitch, the changeup, and he can locate it with the best of them. Great pitch down and away. Cain unable to make contact with that one.
Our Nissan Pitch Track. Want a new Nissan? Grab a pen, because Nissan's first ever sign and drive event is on. You can sign and drive today. Shop ChooseNissan.com or your local Nissan store. The event will end on May the 31st. And this is unusual. There's a delay because Jeremy Guthrie decided to run into the dugout in the middle of the inning. I don't believe I've ever seen that. So the umpires had to call time as Guthrie runs in with 2 down, and here's Gordon taking a strike. Guthrie will pitch for the first time at Camden Yards as a visiting player. Here's the 0-1, it's high and away. Alex Gordon having a good year. 311 overall, and he's batting .338 on the road. See limited success against Garcia.
He's had a nice series here against the Orioles as well. Back-to-back games with home runs from Gordon.
Garcia in his career has averaged 6.5 Ks per 9 innings. Misses just off the plate. And it's 3-1 on Alex Gordon. Gordon 3 out of 8 in the series and a couple of home runs. Ned Yost dropping him down to the number 3 spot, hoping somebody would get on ahead of him and take advantage of his hot bat. But he's up here with the bases empty and 2 down. 3-1 check swing and a bloop to third. Manny Machado's right there. And a 3-up, 3-down inning for Freddie Garcia. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Kansas City doesn't score, and here come the Birds. In the bottom of the first, looking to make it 5 straight wins. Southwest Airlines starting lineups for the Orioles: Nate McLeod, Manny Machado, and Nick Markakis, with Adam Jones in the cleanup spot. Chris Davis at first. Matt Wieters will catch. J.J. Hardy at shortstop, batting 7th. Look at those numbers over the last 5 games. A 389 clip with 3 home runs and 5 RBIs. Ryan Flaherty at second base, and Nolan Reinbold, the DH, back in the lineup, will bat 9th.
And here's a scouting report for Jeremy Guthrie. He has been on a roll, 4-0 this season with a 2.4 earned run average, but 17 straight starts without a loss. He's thrown 16 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings, and he's coming off his first career shutout against the White Sox after 189 starts. And he's done it by mixing well. He changes his pitches often. He mixes up locations very well. And I'll tell you what, Jeremy Guthrie is very athletic on the mound. He fields his position well, he controls the running game well, and he alters the timing in his delivery, which makes it very effective in keeping hitters off balance. See the numbers on him on the year, that 2.40 earned run average, 27 strikeouts to 11 base on balls on the season.
Yeah, that ERA is 9th best in the American League, and anytime as a starter in this league, you're below 3, and he's well below 3 at 2.40. So Guthrie going to work on the mound he knows so well here at Camden Yards, but against the Orioles. And here is the red-hot Nate McLeod. And the fastball's there for a strike, and it's 0-1. Nate taken all the way. Nate in 1 out of 7 in the series. Off-speed pitch hit hard, right to Getz, who plays the hop. And McLeod is retired and 1 away. Well, Manny Machado coming up, and we talked in our open about the effectiveness and the efficiency of the top 2 hitters in the lineup. Here's how these 2 guys rank in the American League. Base hits, 31 and 45. That's 3rd most of any top 2 hitters in lineups in the American League. They're 2nd in runs, 2nd in RBIs. They have walked more, and they have stolen more bases than any top 2 hitters in lineups in the American League. Just tremendous consistency with this duo.
It sure is, and I'll tell you what's more amazing is Manny Machado is doing this at 20 years old, so the future looks good for the Orioles.
Manny has hit in 4 straight games, 6 hits, including 2 home runs in that streak. And lets it go down and away. Ball on a strike on Manny. Still leads the Orioles with his 14 multi-hit games, and he also now has 5 multi-RBI games. Just 1 off the team lead in that category. Guthrie misses badly down and away, 2-1. Guthrie coming off a shutout in his last game last Friday. He shut out the White Sox 2-0. The complete game on just 4 hits. Good eye, ball 3 inside. And as Mike mentioned, he has gone 17 consecutive starts without a loss. His last loss was as a Royal. It was August 3rd of last year against Texas. And it's low, ball 4, and there's a 1-out walk. So Machado is on for Markakis.
You take a look at the Royals defense tonight. Gordon back in left field. Kane playing center tonight. Frank Gore over in right. Escobar and Getz up the middle. Moustakas and Hosmer on the corners. And Perez back behind the plate.
Here's Nick Markakis, who is in a group of hitters taking early BP today, as Mike Bordick was out there throwing BP to several of the regulars. They were just happy to be back out on the field. There's a pitch inside, 1-0. Guthrie staring in at C.B. Buckner.
Yeah, they haven't had a real good chance to hit outside with the weather delays and the travel. So an opportunity for a lot of the veterans to get some extra swings on the field today.
Markakis 1 out of 7 in the series. Manny Machado a perfect 4 for 4 in steal attempts, but as Mike mentioned, Guthrie is tough to steal on. Markakis pops it up left side. Moustakas at third is calling. 2 down in the Oriole first. Well, Jeremy Guthrie was traded by the Orioles to Colorado, and then Colorado did him a favor and traded him to Kansas City. Look at this discrepancy, pitching in the Mile High City and then going to Missouri.
Well, always tough to pitch in Colorado. You don't get quite as much movement, but the numbers with the Royals just so impressive. Just 2 walks per game, strikeouts up. Obviously, all of his numbers as a pitcher have been up since going to the Royals, and I think pitching coach Dave Island has made some pretty good adjustments with Jeremy Guthrie.
Our Dodge Inside the Numbers. See your authorized Dodge dealer and experience a world of performance, design, and fuel efficiency. Schedule a test drive. Go to Dodge.com and check out our powerful lineup. Adam Jones looks over a strike. And 2 out of 7 in the series, batting .329. That is 6th best in the American League. And he's working on a 7-game hitting streak. Machado at first, 2 down. Manny runs, swinging a bouncer foul that Moustakas will glove. Manny had a pretty good jump. He'll get back to first. Against Guthrie on the year, in his first 6 starts, there have been only 2 stolen base attempts, and both have been thrown out.
Well, Jeremy's very good quick to the plate, and he's really good at changing his delivery times and giving good. He has an incredible pickoff move, very quick, comes to a quick preset, and then has just lightning quick feet and a quick release as well.
Machado goes, pitches high, throw down by Perez, and he got him. Gets with the tag. So the 1-out walk, Machado gunned down trying to steal. That will end the first. We'll head to the second. No score. Presented by Luna. Call today for the Luna Double and get your second room of flooring free. Call 877-241-LUNA. How about that? Some blue skies over downtown.
Unbelievable. Haven't seen that for a while.
It was sunny earlier in the afternoon, and then the clouds came back. Here's Billy Butler. Garcia deals a strike 0-1. Kind of warm walking the dogs today. The sun was out. It was nice. I just thought, oh, this is going to be a good night at the ballpark. And the storm scattering the area just inside. One thing you're noticing about Garcia, Mike, he's not afraid to go inside. He's done that already several times to the right-handed batters. Breaking ball just missed. C.B. Buckner almost brought up the hand.
A pretty good pitch right there.
Butler is 6 out of 16 in his career against Garcia. And the 2-1 is low, ball 3. And throwing a off-speed pitch in a fastball count, and Butler didn't bite.
Well, a lot of ways, that's how Freddie Garcia has, had success. He pitches backwards. Buck Showalter talks about pitchers nowadays. A lot of pitchers pitch backwards. Well, Freddie's one of the best at that.
Bounce towards the hole. There's Hardy. Straightens and throws. He got him. J.J. Hardy, nice play, 1 down. Let's get a look at our Dodge Inside the Numbers. And Freddie Garcia and that changeup, he's getting better and better with it.
Yeah, he sure is. Well, I think a lot of it is just comes from experience, but he's always had a super changeup. But look at that batting average all the way down to 171 last year, and I think a big part of it is the fact that he's been able to locate it better on the inside part of the plate as well. Typically, he throws that changeup on the outside corner, but he has better command with it, and he has great arm action with his fastball. And if you have good arm action with your fastball, it correlates to a much better changeup.
Eric Hosmer takes ball 1, 3 out of 8 in the series. '23-year-old out of Florida slices it to left. There's McLouth, and 2 down. That ball was hit hard, but right at Nate McLouth. Fans voting for the MLB All-Star Game is underway. Just go to Orioles.com/voteorange. You can vote for your favorite Orioles up to 35 times with each valid email address. And fans who vote at least 25 times receive a voucher good for $10 off any box seat or $5 off any reserve seat for one of the 3 games against the Astros, July 30th to August 1st. And one lucky fan who votes 35 times will win a 2013 All-Star Game jersey autographed by Orioles All-Stars. So vote early, vote often, vote orange. Get online, Orioles.com/voteorange today. And quickly, 0-2 on Salvador Perez. Perez caught the first game in the series, back in there tonight. High and away. Garcia last year was 7-6 with the Yankees. And pitched to an ERA of 5.20, and for some reason they didn't feel they needed him and they let him go. That's why he signed with the Padres, thinking he had a chance to make that club. This ball's pulled down the line, fading towards the corner. That is a foul ball. And when he was released, he looked around and thought, there's some good things going on with that Baltimore club. He saw them last year several times as a Yankee, knew of the opportunity, knew of the 12 different starters that came through here last year, decided to give it a chance. In the first need, he became the need. He became the guy that filled it.
Well, it didn't hurt that he threw so well in AAA.
Right back to Garcia. He gloves, and he'll get it to Davis for the out. So 3 up, 3 down for a second consecutive inning. There's the All-Star Lounge on the club level. Great place to enjoy a game. Matthew has already won $500 just by being selected. He'll win $100 more for every Orioles hit during the game tonight, plus an extra $500 for any Orioles home run in the 5th inning. For your chance to be the Maryland Lottery Hit It Big contestant of the game, play 5-card cash. Go to mdlottery.com/Orioles and enter. Adam Jones will lead off. He was batting when Machado was caught trying to steal to end the first. Davis and Wieters will follow. Swinging a foul back. He was sitting on that, and he was right on it, 0-1. Adam with the current 7-game hitting streak, so he's had streaks now of 9, 5, 8, and 7. Only 4 games all year he does not have a base hit. Fouls it back, and it's 0-2. And one of the things that has been so obvious with Adam this year is his approach and his patience. Even Dan Duquette during batting practice went over to Adam and congratulated him for his first at-bat last night when he was down 0-2, and he took the pitch to right field. Didn't try to do too much, and that's what Jim Presley's been working on with him. Don't get yourself out.
Right.
If they're going to do that to you, especially if you're down on the count, just go with it. And Adam is getting his share of base hits the opposite way this year. Guthrie's ahead 0-2. Just got a piece to stay alive as Guthrie came sidearm. And here's what we're talking about, Mike. That's about as balanced as you're going to see with Adam Jones.
Yeah, great consistency right there. I think Adam Jones, I mean, we've seen him mature as a hitter, but this year especially, he's using right field a lot more, especially with 2 strikes. Guys trying to get him out, down and away.
Sharply at the short. Right there is Escobar. And the long throw off the bag, and Jones is safe. Escobar, another throwing error in this series.
Yeah, Escobar made a couple throwing errors in last night's ball game that cost them actually a victory. And here's a routine ground ball, and maybe he just makes it too routine, thinks it's too easy to play. But Adam Jones hustling down the line, when he looks up, he has to rush a little bit, and that's when he yoiks aways it up and over Hosmer's head.
So the Orioles get a leadoff base runner, a gift. They have taken advantage of the errors of the Royals in this series. Kansas City made 1 error on Tuesday night, and it was in the 8th inning, and it was costly as Davis takes a strike. Remember, Jones was on at first, and Hochshaver tried to pick him off, and he hit him in the back. Adam got in the scoring position, and Wieters drove him in. And of course, last night there were the 3 errors total, and coming in that 5th inning when the Orioles scored the 3 runs that made the difference in the game. Davis slaps it the other way, chasing Gordon back. He'll get there, and on the warning track he has it. So Chris Davis strong enough to send it to the warning track. Gordon there for the out. So Davis now 0 for 7 in the series. This is the Orioles' 4th chance this season for a sweep in a series. They took the first 2 games against the Dodgers, lost the finale. First 2 against Toronto, lost the finale. And then in Oakland, they won the first 3 games in that series, and then lost the finale when the Athletics rallied in the 9th and won it in extra innings. So they've been there. They have won 6 of their last 7 series, as Jones leads from first, and Buck Showalter's club is 8-3 in their 11 series on the year. And a throw to first, Jones back. And while if you're the team winning the sweeps, you like them, the other thing the Orioles have done, they have not been swept. So in the 3 series they've lost, they've at least won 1 game in each of those. There you see Adam Jones on the year, perfect 4 out of 4. Doesn't go. The 1-0 has hit the center field, and that's going to fall for a base hit for Matt Wieters. Kane was deep, and he plays it on a hop. So 2 on with 1 down for the red-hot J.J. Hardy, who brings a 5-game hitting streak to tonight's game.
Yeah, he's been swinging the bat well. 3 home runs in his last 4 games, and when J.J. Hardy starts feeling comfortable at the plate, he's going to be hitting some long balls, and he did last night.
Now, this is a real interesting matchup, and time called as Salvador Perez goes out in front of the plate to signal what he'll do if the runners take off. Guthrie has allowed 6 home runs on the year. All 6 have been solo home runs, And he has a hitter at the plate who all of a sudden now is hot with the long ball.
Right.
And 2 men on, so we'll see who wins this battle. And he lays off. Guthrie tried to get him to chase, 1-0. Well, the Orioles trying to take advantage of that error. Kansas City now with 24 errors on the year, and for Escobar it was his 6th. There's a strike. So how about J.J. Hardy? What does he like to hit deep?
He likes the fastball for sure. I mean, all good hitters hunt the fastball, but last year J.J. Hardy 8 home runs on breaking balls. Last night he hit a breaking ball out of the park for a home run, but you see 4 on the year on fastball. So I think he's up there sitting dead red, and he'll make his adjustments if a guy makes a mistake with a breaking ball.
Adam Jones yelling at Jeremy Guthrie, who threw back behind him. Former teammates. 58 home runs since 2011, most of all major league shortstops. And a bloop, that's going to fall. Base hit. Jones read it all the way. He'll come around third. He will score. Trying for third is Wieters. Here's the throw. He is out at third base. But Jones scores, and the Orioles have a 1-0 lead. A broken bat base hit by J.J. Hardy. The error does hurt Kansas City.
Definitely taking advantage of mistakes, but J.J. Hardy, he gets a fastball, but this one's running in hard. You see that bat shatter on him, and it almost catches Moustakas at third base, but a nice bloop hit. Adam Jones with a good read, scores easily. Matt Wieters trying to be really aggressive over there. You can't knock him for that, and a good throw from Kane as Moustakas puts the tag on Wieters.
So 2 down in the inning. Here's Ryan Flaherty with Hardy at first, and the Orioles on top. And there's a strike as Ryan took. Ryan, another of those hitters in that early group today, trying to find that stroke. He's 0 for 7 in the series and just 3 for his last 31. Hardy not a stolen base threat, leads from first. And a good take down and in, 1-1. Guthrie has had just 1 winning season in the major leagues. That was in 2007, his first year as an Oriole when he was a rookie. He was 7-5 that year. Good off-speed pitch. Flaherty can't reach it. 1-2 the count. Now the one thing he did give the Orioles was innings.
Yeah.
And he pitched 200 or more innings his final 3 seasons with the Orioles.
It's hard to find that in a starting pitcher, too. Nowadays, anybody that can throw up over 200 innings consistently, guys like to hold on to those innings eaters. Saves the bullpen.
Bounces that one. Perez blocks it. J.J. Hardy stayed close. You may have heard Wayne Kirby yelling, no, 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 no. Don't go anywhere. Guthrie is an Oriole, 47-65. So 18 games below 500. 2-2 is fouled off. Not all his fault. He played on some teams that were challenged offensively. He played on some teams that were challenged in the bullpen.
Right.
For a while there, he was the king of the no decision.
Yeah.
But it worked out well for him. As his pitching coach looks on. Dave Eiland, former big league pitcher. 2-2 to Flaherty's outside, ball 3. What an at bat for Ryan Flaherty here as he works the count full. He was down a ball and 2 strikes. This will give the Orioles a big break. Hardy will be able to run with the pitch. And the 7th pitch of this at bat will come to Ryan Flaherty. Hardy will make sure that Guthrie comes home. There he goes. And it's inside, ball 4. What a good at-bat for Ryan Flaherty, prolonging the inning.
Well, it really was. And I'll tell you, one thing about hitting is when you're not doing as well as you're capable of doing, and Ryan's been making great contact but not getting the hits as of late, you tend to become impatient, want to get that at-bat over with, and tend to chase pitches early in the count. Well, Flaherty showing great patience right there. And he took those pitches like he was hitting 350.
And you get a home run threat to the plate in Nolan Reimold. As Guthrie trying to navigate through this inning following the error. The leadoff error on the ball hit by Jones. Adam has scored. Guthrie helped out by his center fielder Kane, who caught Wieters trying to go to third, but here's Nolan. There's a strike, 0-1. Pretty good numbers against Kansas City in his career for Nolan Reimold. He's up with 2 on and 2 out. And time called late by C.B. Buckner, and Guthrie fired in anyway. The hitter has to request time. The umpire does not have to give it, but 99% of the time, regardless of where the pitcher is in his windup, they let the hitter have time.
Right.
So it's a no pitch, and it's 0-1 on Reimold. Ground ball slowly at the short. And the flip by Escobar to second. That will end the inning. The Orioles get an unearned run, but take the lead. 2 hits and 2 left. We'll head to the third. 1-0 O's. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by PNC Bank for the achiever in you, and by Ocean City, Maryland. Book your Ocean City, Maryland vacation at OCOcean.com. There's a cloud moving by. And Freddie Garcia now has a 1-0 lead. He's retired the first 6 batters to come up. Here's Mike Moustakas, and he'll take a strike. Freddie Garcia doing a real good job getting ahead. Moustakas didn't play in the first game. 3 for 5 in the game last night, including a home run and 2 ribbies. High fly ball to right. He got under. That was a hanger. Garcia had away with one there. Markakis will put it away. And one away in the Kansas City third. On Wednesday, May 15th, the Orioles invite you to skip out of work early and enjoy a special 12:35 afternoon game, that matinee against the San Diego Padres, Interleague Baseball. Enjoy a beautiful early summer afternoon with the Birds here at the ballpark that forever changed baseball. So clear your schedule and book a meeting with the O's. Get your tickets in advance and save. Call 888-848-BIRD or visit Orioles.com. And there's a slicer to right field. Markakis on the run. He's got it for the out. Nicely done by Nick Markakis, and 2 men down.
Nice play here by Nick Markakis. This is a bullet. Fastball down and away, and Markakis gets a great jump. Tracks it down easily, catching it chest high.
One thing about Freddie Garcia, even though in his career he's averaged 6.5 strikeouts per 9 innings, at this point in his career he could care less about it. A 1-pitch at bat, my right fielder runs it down. That's what I'm all about.
Exactly. Pitch to contact. He's throwing strikes with all of his pitches right now. Not falling behind. Doing a great job.
Strike 1 to Chris Getz, his first appearance in the series. Check swing and it's low. Getz is in a 3 for 17 slump, which is why he sat out a couple of games. Let's get a look at our AT&T Mobility trivia fact for the night. This season, 57 of the Orioles' 139 runs allowed have come via the home run. So that's 41%. And the Orioles pitching, Mike, has allowed a home run in 10 consecutive games, which is a season high.
Yeah, that's I want to stay away from that one. Try to end that tonight.
There's a bouncer to third. Machado towards the line, throws on the run, and he got him. Wow, does he cover third base. 3 up, 3 down on a 7-pitch inning. Bottom of the third coming up with the O's in front. Has been placed on the disabled list with the blister on his right thumb, unable to throw breaking pitches. And earlier today he was to have a side session, but they decided to let him throw, but he only threw fastballs. They covered it up, and they want this thing to heal. Unfortunately, they can backdate it, so Alex Burnett is called up. Here's McLouth against Guthrie.
Well, one thing for sure is the Orioles training staff, Richie Bancells and Brian Ebel, have had a lot of experience dealing with pitchers' blisters, so they know that if he comes back too soon, the tendency could be that they could lose him for more than just one start.
And there's the blister. He's trying to keep it covered. Yeah, he was nice enough to show me that the other night. I said, thank you very much. Yeah, didn't really need to see that, but thanks for being thorough. 2-1 on McLouth. And the good thing about the DL for Miguel is that it can be backdated. This was to be his start tonight. There's a bloop right center field. That'll fall for a base hit. McLouth is on with a leadoff single. For Gonzalez, who last pitched last Friday night in Anaheim, they can backdate the DL to the 4th of May. So let's see, 15-4. He's eligible on the 19th.
Right.
See what I did there?
I did. Pretty impressive.
I backdated and added all in one sentence. And there's Alex in the bullpen. That Seton Hall paid off, didn't it? Now here's Machado. Fouls it off, an aggressive cut. But that's good news for Miguel because it means he would be eligible sooner than later. And the 19th of May is next Sunday when Tampa Bay is here at Camden Yards. Throw to first, and back is McLouth. And one other thing we should point out, somebody's got to make the start Saturday in Minnesota, and it won't be Burnett. But Showalter said he has options, but he wouldn't tip his hand. He was asked specifically about Steve Johnson, and he looked, he said, well, he's an option.
Yeah. Well, the good news is there are options.
Oh, absolutely.
There are some guys throwing very well right now in Norfolk.
McLouth has 11 steals in 12 attempts. He doesn't run, and it's outside. 1-1 the count on Manny. Manny walked his first plate appearance, caught trying to steal, looking to extend the hitting streak to 5 in a row. In his last 16 games, he has 26 base hits. Orioles with a 1-0 lead, looking to add here in the third. Machado deep left. Will it stay fair down the line? That is a foul ball. Oh, he was all over.
Well, he got on that pitch really good. Guthrie, last inning and now this inning, even with McLeod, have left a couple pitches up in the zone. Even though some balls haven't been hit hard, giving up a few hits on those mistakes. And Manny Machado almost came through with a 2-run homer there. Just pulled it foul.
1-2 on Manny. And a ball hit towards the middle. There's Escobar. He'll flip to Getz. There's one. And back to first. There's a double play. So one pitch after nearly hitting it out. A 6-4-3 and 2 men down. Our PNC minor league report brought to you by PNC Bank for the achiever in you. Jair Jurgen still at AAA Norfolk last night against Buffalo. 6 innings, 4 hits, just 3 runs allowed, 2 of those earned, 1 walk and 3 Ks. Very impressive numbers for Jurgens at AAA.
Well, we just talked about some of the options that Buck Showalter and Rick Adair may have, and Jair Jurgens is doing very well. That 4-1 record down there, 2.62 earned run average. So he's getting back on track as well.
Slow breaking ball misses low to Markakis. Nick popped up to third his first at bat. Another of the encouraging things for the Orioles in their lineup, and again to talk about the balance, is that the Orioles are off to a 21-13 start without Nick Markakis yet getting hot. When he gets hot in the middle of the lineup, everything else seems to fall to place. And he was another one of those hitters out there for early BP today, just wanting to get his stroke down. I mean, you know he's going to hit. He's a proven hitter. Hitters don't forget how to hit. And once the luck changes and it turns around, they go on tears. Check swing and it's there for a strike. High strike, 3-1.
Well, Nick is definitely a student of the game, and he studies his swing all the time. He's in there looking at video, and sometimes it's just subtle moves for Nick Markakis. That front side may be leaking just a little bit. He'll see it on video and work on it in an extra batting practice. Nice at bat for Nick Markakis there.
A 2-out walk, the third walk allowed by Guthrie. He walked 4 in a game at Boston in which he pitched to a no decision. That was on April 21st. But in 4 of his 6 starts, he walked only 1 batter for the entire game. Here's Jones for another at bat. Another 2-out base runner. And fouled off the foot, and down goes Jones.
Well, you can see the movement that Jeremy Guthrie gets on his two-seam fastball. Great location here on the inner third. And Adam Jones squares it up, but drives it off his front foot. This will be a great look at it right here. Oh, more down on the heel. And that knocks you off your feet. You know you hit it pretty well.
Richie Bancil's over to check on him. Buck Showalter's going to come over as well. That seems to be happening to Adam with some regularity. Nothing you can do about it. Just the angle, the way the ball comes off the bat. There's that Adam Jones smile. Whatever Buck said made him smile.
Right. Well, Buck probably challenged him a little bit and said, hey, you going to be able to stay in this ball game? Adam probably just smiled about it.
Come on, I thought you were a tough slugger. Adam reached on an error and scored the Orioles' run in the second. Guthrie checks Markakis. And a foul back. Good aggressive cut. It's 0-2. J.J. Hardy and Jim Presley having some fun on the bench. Of course, the ball didn't hit their foot.
Yeah. But it's happened to them before. They're laughing. They know how bad it hurts.
And there's another good take by Adam Jones. Guthrie tried to get in the chase. Of course, his former teammate, thinking he knows the tendencies.
Right.
So that was the other Adam Jones. Not the 2013 Adam Jones, who was much more patient. 1-2 the count. And he got him. That breaking ball did bite down, and Jones is down on strikes, and the inning ends. So a base hit, a walk, and one left. We're through 3 at Camden Yards. 1-0 O's. Freddie Garcia's success with 152 wins. Well, how about most wins by anyone from his native Venezuela with 152? Johan Santana next, 139. And Carlos Zambrano at 132. Felix Hernandez at 103. There's a guy to look at. He's only 27. He has 103 wins. Wilson Alvarez 102 and Kelvin Escobar 101. Now Garcia, Santana, and Hernandez the only active on that list. But Santana, he's headed the shoulder surgery and he's done for the year. So that's pretty impressive when you come out of a Latin American country and you lead your nation in wins.
Sure is.
It's like when Vladimir Guerrero was on the Orioles and the Orioles would go on the road, and how the Dominican players on other teams always made a point to go talk to the star, Vladimir Guerrero. And there's a strike taken by Escobar, 1-1.
Well, Freddie Garcia, when he first came up, he was a dominant pitcher because he had a power fastball, power sinking fastball that he could throw 94, 95, 96 miles an hour. And the beauty about Garcia is obviously being able to stay healthy, but making the adjustments throughout his career. The velocity has gone down, but he's become a better pitcher. And you see the success that he's had with all those victories.
Escobar fouls off the slow curveball. Well, Escobar's from Venezuela, so he knows all about Freddie Garcia. One-two pitches high, 2-2. When you're a player like Escobar, who's 26, and you've watched Freddie Garcia have all that success in the major leagues, and now you're facing him, it's got to be special. Even though Escobar is an established big league player. Here's a ball off the end of the bat. Hardy's going to call. Shallow left. And he has it for the out, and one away in the Kansas City fourth. The Orioles take on the Yankees in a pivotal early season showdown in the AL East. That's Monday, May 20th through Wednesday, May 22nd. Now, good seats remain, but they are going fast. So show your colors, come on out and support your Birds in this AL Division Series rematch. 888-848-BIRD or online at Orioles.com. Lorenzo Cain struck out his first at bat. Slow curve is high, 1-0. Bounce to third, but Machado near the line. He's got it. The long throw high, the tag, he's safe. And Cain is on, and Kansas City has its first base runner. Machado's throw sailing. Davis did all he could to try to get Kane, but first place umpire Todd Tishner immediately says safe.
Yeah, Manny Machado, you'll see his great range here. Problem is he takes too many steps and then he looks up. Kane getting down the line good, has to rush that throw, and it sails a little bit on him. If he could have limited it to one less step, he might have been able to set up and make a more accurate throw.
That has been ruled an infield hit for Kane because of the effort involved. So first base runner for Kansas City comes here in the 4th, and here's Alex Gordon. Check swing, and it's high. They appeal to third, no swing. Gordon popped up to third his first at bat. Quick throw to first. Garcia protecting that 1-0 lead. An unearned run against Guthrie in the 2nd. Another throw to first. Kane has 4 steals on the year, but he has been caught 3 times. Kansas City as a club has been caught only 4, and he's been caught 3 of them. And that sails high, 2-0. The Orioles may control the running game better than any team in baseball. They're catching 56% of the base steals.
Well, a large part obviously due to Matt Wieters, Gold Glove catcher behind the plate, but Buck Showalter has instilled the belief to all the pitchers to be a lot quicker to the plate. It's carried over the whole minor league system now does that, and every pitcher that they call up, you better have a quick delivery to the plate with runners on base, or you're not going to get many opportunities to pitch here for the Baltimore Orioles.
Gordon thought that pitch was off the plate. Instead, it's called a strike. Toss to first.
Well, it's these types of situations where Freddie Garcia shows what kind of veteran he is. Now, he slowed this game down, knowing that Alex Gordon is probably the most dangerous hitter in this Royals lineup. If you pick off attempts right here, kind of slowing the game down to his pace, and now in anticipation that Alex Gordon might chase his pitch to help get out of this inning.
Long look to first. Kane doesn't go. The 2-1 is ripped to right field, and that's going to go. Onto the flag court, a 2-run home run for Alex Gordon, and the Royals grab the lead at 2-1. So Gordon has homered in each game in this series, and the single ahead of him gives Kansas City the lead. His 6th on the year, and 3 have come here in Baltimore.
Take a look at the pitch, just up middle in the zone, 87-mile-an-hour fastball. And Gordon has just been hammering the ball here in this series. What a good extension. That was a big fly.
Billy Butner now, he'll take high. Even though Kansas City is not a power hitting team, although their ballpark has something to do with that, Royal Stadium is still a pretty big ballpark. The one thing they do very well that gives them a chance to have a big inning is they don't strike out. They've struck out the fewest times of any team in the American League. That ball's ripped to right field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Markakis over to get it, as Butler just goes with it the opposite way for a 1-out single. Well, 3 lucky winners will receive a meet and greet with Orioles pitcher Darren O'Day and Masson's meet and greet giveaway. Visit Facebook.com/Masson Orioles. Click on Enter Sweepstakes for your chance to win. You can enter once per day. Darren enjoying a cup of coffee in the bullpen. 3 straight hits after Garcia retired the first 10 in the game. And here's Eric Hosmer. And it's inside 1-0.
Well, Garcia kind of consistently working up in the zone in this inning. Of course, Gordon made him pay. Kane with that infield single. And Butler delivered a base hit on a fastball up in the zone as well.
And that one breaks down and in. 2-0 the count. He fell behind Gordon. Now he's behind Hosmer. In the prior innings, he was getting ahead. Ricadera looking on. Slice to left field. McLeod is back. That ball has carry, and that ball's going to go. Eric Hosmer's first home run on the year is a 2-run shot and a 4-run explosion against Freddie Garcia.
Eric Hosmer showing his power potential with a drive to left center, opposite field. And Freddie Garcia falls behind 2-0. Hosmer gears up and goes out and gets this pitch in the outer third of the plate. And that's a big fly going the other way.
Still only one down. Here's Perez, a bouncer towards the hole. Hardy backhands. He'll straighten and throw, and he got him. 2 men down.
Freddie Garcia, after kind of cruising through the first 3 innings, 19 pitches thrown here in this fourth, 51 total.
It's a relief for Hosmer getting his first on the year. Ned Yost was showing a lot of patience with Eric Hosmer until this lineup adjustment tonight. He continued to bat him cleanup. Batting 5th in the lineup tonight. Here's Moustakas, who flied out his first at bat. Fastball inside, 1-1. Seventh batter to come up in this inning. The Orioles do have that extra arm in the bullpen tonight with Alex Burnett added. So it's an 8-man bullpen. And it will be tonight and tomorrow as he misses outside. 3-1. There's Alex in the pen with Tommy Hunter and Brian Mattis. 3-1 on Moustakas. And it's inside, ball 4 and a walk. First walk in the inning by Freddie Garcia.
Well, Freddie Garcia's lost a bit of his command on all of his pitches. Right there, a couple changeups. Yanked that last one to put Moustakas on, and now Ricadera out for a visit. Maybe sees something mechanically, help him become a little bit more consistent.
Just trying to get this final out and get back to the bench. Orioles are down by 3, certainly in this game. Orioles have had base runners in all 3 of the innings against Jeremy Guthrie. The caught stealing helped him out in the first. Wieters being gunned down at third base helped him out in the second. Then the double play helped him out in the third. And a high pop-up out behind second base off the bat of Francoeur. It gets over to Hardy at shortstop, and the inning is over. But a big inning for Kansas City, a pair of 2-run home runs. Mid-4th, the Royals with a 4-1 lead. Our Hollywood Casino League leaders, and you see slugging percentage on the year, and Chris Davis is second in the American League, trailing only Carlos Santana of the Cleveland Indians. Slots, tables, and dining, the ultimate triple play at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. Guthrie to face Davis. Guthrie now has the lead, and there's a fastball for a strike. Chris lined out to left field his first at bat. He is now 2 for his last 19 with just 2 ribbies in that span. Takes a high fastball, 1-0. And a foul back. Well, we're talking about balance. We're talking about using the whole field. How about Chris Davis this season with home runs?
Yeah, well, last year obviously showed power to all fields, but 48.5% there. You know, predominantly a pull power hitter last year, but this year unbelievable consistency. Not only shows great plate coverage, but power to all fields.
He gets into that one on cue. To the bleachers it goes, and that ball is gone. It's a 4-2 game. Add 1 to center field on that chart. His 10th on the year, and the Birds are within 2. Here's Matt Wieters. Wieters pops it up to shallow left. Alex Gordon will come in on it. And he's got it for the out, 1 away. Let's take a look at that swing and that drive by Chris Davis.
Well, Chris Davis, one of the hitters out here early, and this slider just hangs out in the middle of the plate. And Chris Davis does some tremendous damage on that pitch. Guthrie shows his frustration in not hitting the spot he wanted. You cannot make mistakes to Chris Davis.
But again, the difference for Guthrie is it's a solo home run. The 2 home runs allowed by Garcia each came with a man on base. J.J. Hardy drove in a run with a single his first at bat. And Guthrie misses inside, 1-1. Now J.J. with that base hit extends his hitting streak to 6 in a row. Hard hit ball caught by Moustakas at third for the second out. Just couldn't get it airborne enough to get over his head, and Moustakas was there to glove it. So Chris Davis, double digits in home runs with 10.
See Presley showing him how he takes the hands to the ball, stays behind the baseball. Chris Davis has done that so well this year, not getting too far out on his front foot. Great leverage.
He led the Orioles last year with 33. He's got 10 already. Led the Orioles with 85 RBIs. He now has 31 ribbies already. Flaherty takes inside. So Chris ties Mark Reynolds and Edwin Encarnacion. 10 home runs for the American League lead. High strike call. Flaherty didn't think so. Questioning C.B. Buckner. So instead of 2-1, it's 1-2 on Flaherty. Pulled foul behind Wayne Kirby. Ryan, real good at bat his first at bat. 8-pitch walk after he fell behind, 1-2, which is the count he finds himself with here. And he pulls it towards the hole. Hosmer has it wide of the bag. The race is on, and safe at first base is Flaherty. For some reason, Hosmer just couldn't get it out of his glove, or just elected not to throw it because Guthrie was there.
Well, it's kind of funny. These are the type of plays you see Getz here arranging, but Hosmer cuts him off, and then he doesn't think that Guthrie's going to be at first base. Well, this is a play that we've seen the Orioles have, and Chris Davis, he lets that ball go and lets the second baseman get it, and he'll slide back to first, and they get the out. So to take the pitcher out of that play, and they've been more consistent, and that's what can ultimately happen and what the Orioles try to avoid defensively. And the Royals, it cost them right there.
Nolan Reimold waves through that breaking ball. Good slider down and away. It's 0-1. Nolan now up there after the Flaherty 2-out base hit, representing the tying run. Too tight, nearly hit him. I don't know how it didn't.
It looked like Perez caught that ball behind Reimold. This two-seam fastball just takes off.
Nolan bounced into a fielder's choice his first at bat. Good take again, ball 2. Flaherty has a small lead. Oh, good cut. He missed it. 2-2. Nolan 4 for his last 31. And certainly due for a long ball. He has 4 home runs on the year. 2-2, and he got him. Slider down and away, and he swings through it. So the strikeout ends the inning. Chris Davis with his 10th on the year, and no doubt about it, shot into the bleachers. It's a 4-2 game through 4. Four to 2 as we go to the 5th, and welcome into our broadcast booth. Jim Hunter with Mike Bordick, and a game of long balls here. Kansas City taking advantage. They've been waiting to break out, and a couple of 2-run home runs off Garcia to get the lead. All the runs coming in that 4th inning.
That's right. Well, Gordon staying red hot, hit a 2-run home run, and then Hosmer, his first home run of the year, drove it the opposite way. And I'll tell you what, Garcia's been pitching really well up until that point last inning. Lost the command a little bit and left some pitches up in the zone, and the Royals hitters able to take advantage of a couple mistakes.
In the first 3 innings, he retired the side 3 up, 3 down in all 3, consistently getting ahead of the hitters, but the control betrayed him a little bit in that 4th inning as Getz skies it to Adam Jones in center field for the first out. But the one thing about Freddie Garcia, you don't win 152 games in your career without knowing how to minimize the damage. And even though he gave up 4, he didn't give up 5. So the Orioles with the Davis home run right back in it.
Oh, exactly right. And I'll tell you what, the Orioles are always going to be in a ball game because their offense is so potent. And Freddie Garcia, like you said, is a great veteran. He knows how to pitch. He knows how to get himself out of jams. And we saw how effective he could be in the first 3 innings of this ball game. So look for him to get back on track here.
Here's Alcides Escobar. Escobar is 0 for 2. He has flied out and popped up the short. Slices it to right for Markakis. It carries, but Nick gets there. And just in front of the wall has it for the out and 2 quick outs. We invite you to tune into the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report tomorrow before the Orioles begin their series with the Twins in Minnesota, 5 until 6:30 tomorrow. Join Tom Davis, Dave Johnson, Mel Antonin, and Phil Wood, all your Orioles news and notes. You can start your night at Baltimore baseball, the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report on Masson tomorrow at 5. And here is Lorenzo Cain, who got that rally going in the 4th. The infield hit back a 3rd. Machado made a nice play getting to it, then his throw sailed on Davis, and it was ruled an infield hit. Swings through it, 0-2. So that home run streak by Oriole pitching continues. Now 11 straight games and 15 home runs total in the 11 straight games, allowing a home run. Strike 3 called. He paints the outside corner. And how about that bounce back inning for Freddie Garcia? Royals go 3 up, 3 down. Mid-5th, the Birds are down by 2. Masson is brought to you by Just for Men. Just for Men Auto Stop, the foolproof way to get rid of gray. And by Antwerp and Toyota. When Jack says yes, you pay less. At Antwerp and Toyota in Howard County Auto Park. Visit AntwerpandToyota.com today. It has turned into a lovely night in the Inner Harbor. After a 31-minute rain delay, threat of rain delay prior to the game. Nate McLeod for his 3rd at bat. First ball swinging, fouls it back. Nate 1 out of 2, singled in the 3rd. And was erased on the double play hit into by Machado. Too tight. And a good take. It's low, 2-1. One of the things Ned Yost has to be just giddy about, with Guthrie holding a 4-2 lead here. Over the last 6 games, here's the 2-1 pitch and a bouncer to second. Big bounce there for Getz. And he'll get the out, 1 away. Time for the 5th inning home run bonus. For this inning only, today's Maryland Lottery big hit contestant of the game receives $500 for any Orioles home run. Matthew Chasarowski has already won $1,000 tonight. For your chance to be the Maryland Lottery hit a big contestant of the game, play 5-card cash and go to mdlottery.com/Orioles to enter. So 1 down, and here's Machado. Waves at it, and it's 0-1. Oh, C.B. Buckner didn't see that. He had to appeal, and Tishner said, yep, that's a swing. Manny walked in the first, caught trying to steal, and bounced into a double play. And another swing and a miss, 0-2. But Kansas City in the last 6 games, when their starter was in the game, they didn't get any more than 3 run support in any of those 6 consecutive starts. So even if they pitch well enough to be in the game, the team didn't score enough for them to get the win. Well, Ned Yost sees his team tonight, 2 2-run home runs in the same inning and a 4-2 lead.
Yeah, so he's got to feel good about that. Get some quality starting pitching and get a little bit more offense. They're going to be a tough team.
Ground ball past the mound, gets at him, played there. Machado's out for the second out. Well, when the Orioles win, everybody wins. The Orioles won and scored 5 or more runs yesterday, which means you get 50% off your regular menu price online order today. Just enter the promo code Orioles5 at papajohns.com when ordering. It's valid at participating Baltimore area Papa John's. Pizza for everybody. 2 down on 2 groundouts to second base, and here's Nick Markakis. Slider bounces, 1-0. Nick walked his last at bat after pop up to third in the first. The Orioles have out-hit Kansas City 5-4, but the Royals have out-homered the Orioles 2-1. Alex Gordon a 2-run shot. Chris Davis has a solo shot for the Birds. Slice the other way down the line. That's going to fade foul and back out of play.
Well, Jeremy Guthrie here, the 3rd time through the Orioles order, has gone to more off-speed pitches. He's thrown a couple of curve balls, more change-ups than he has the previous 2 go-arounds through the Orioles offense. His fastball's been really good throughout this ball game, but featuring some more breaking balls.
Well, Nick Markakis goes with it the other way. That's a base hit. Nick is hustling around first, thinks about it, but puts on the brakes with Adam Jones coming up. So a 2-out single for Markakis the other way to left center field. After 2 groundouts, Markakis is on for Adam. Adam reached on an error and scored in the second, struck out in the third, looking to extend the hitting streak to 8 straight games.
See Adam with the foot guard on now after he fouled that ball off his foot his last at bat.
Lays off the slider, 1-0.
A lot of protection there.
Adam has not yet hit a home run in the month of May. His last home run was April the 27th. Inside, ball 2. Guthrie has not had a 3-up, 3-down inning. The closest to that was the first when the 1-out walk was erased. Machado caught trying to steal. It was a 3-batter inning, but not a 3-up, 3-down. Hard hit ball the third. Moustakas is there. He'll go to second for the force on Markakis, and that ends the inning. So Jones is retired, and the Orioles go down in the 5th. We'll head to the 6th. 2-run game. Kansas City with a 4-2 lead. Presented by Head and Shoulders. Jeremy Guthrie getting Adam Jones on the swing and a miss. Nolan Reimold as well. Freddie Garcia with a whiff of Lorenzo Cain. So let's get a look at our checklist of Mike Bordick.
Yeah, take a look. Freddie Garcia, opportunistic 4 earned runs allowed here, but he had a rough 1 inning. So I'm going to say, yeah, he's taking advantage of this. He's getting his team deeper into the ball game. Exploits impatience. We've seen a lot of the Royals hitters swing after the first pitch, second pitch, or third pitch. So yes, adds and subtracts. He's just had the 1 bad inning, like I said. So I'm giving him good grades all the way through. Nice job for Freddie Garcia.
And he gets ahead of Alex Gordon, 0-1. Gordon, Butler, and Hosmer for Kansas City in the 6th. And a strike in the outside corner, 0-2. Garcia's pitch count is still very low. It's only the 68th pitch that he has thrown. Of course, the first 3 innings he retired the side in order in each. 1-2 pitch, he got him. Real good pitch that broke out of the strike zone, exploiting the impatience.
Exactly right. Great pitch, big breaking ball here, down and in. It's one of the hottest hitters in the game right now, Gordon. Good pitch, and good things happen when you get ahead. Garcia is showing that. In the innings he's had success. He's getting ahead and then able to go to those off-speed pitches and get some chases.
TJ McFarland getting loose. One of the 8 Oriole relievers. Billy Butler looks over 1 low. Butler singled and scored his last at bat. He was on base for the Hosmer home run. Hard hit ball towards third. Manny Machado, tough in between hop. Takes his time, gets his man, and 2 men out. With active membership reaching record levels, the Junior Orioles Dugout Club will be on sale only for a limited time. Now, the program is for kids 14 and under. Now includes a ticket to 6 games beginning July the 8th, plus a hat, backpack, and more for just $15. A family and friends tickets start as low as $6 with the opportunity to upgrade to the lower level seats. So don't miss this Birdland value and family entertainment and join today. Orioles.com/dugout club. There's a little fan at the game. #1 little fan. Now, was there a vote or?
Well, I'm sure every mom thinks their little child is the #1 fan.
Especially with Mother's Day coming up Sunday.
Yep.
Sure you took care of the gifts and all for Monica since you'll be out of town. Sure.
Hey, don't get me in trouble, Jim, please. The good news is I have kids that can drive, so I can call them.
There you go. When in doubt, call the kids. That's like when I need help with my computer or my phone. Hello?
Yeah.
Any kids available? There's the pitch count for Freddie at 74. 2 outs and nobody on here in the 6th. Hard hit ball. Machado was there, but he can't glove it. It's skipped on past into left field.
Well, that was a bullet. That was a bullet off the bat of Hosmer and off the left side. The third baseman isn't really expecting that, but I guarantee when Manny goes back and looks at this play, he's going to be upset because him and Bobby Dickerson work on the drop step all the time, and Bobby is constantly reminding him to get deeper with that drop step, and if he did, he would have given himself a much better chance to make that play.
Still no ruling on the play, but Hosmer's on with 2 down for Salvador Perez. Has been called a hit. Slow roller towards third. Rolls foul. Perez has bounced back to Garcia and grounded out to shortstop. Fly ball to left. McLouth is there. Comes towards the line. And he's got it for the out in the inning end. So a 2-out single and 1 left. We head to the bottom of the 6th on a beautiful night downtown. Birds down by 2. Kansas City has a 4-2 lead. Here's our Lexus of Towson drive of the game, and it came off the bat of Chris Davis leading off of the 4th. This 10th home run, a no doubt about it shot. The drive of the game brought to you by Lexus of Towson, the Baltimore area's #1 Lexus dealer. Come see why they're #1 at LexusofTowson.com. And here is Mr. Davis leading off against Guthrie. Wieters and Hardy will follow. Orioles down by 2. High fly ball right field. Did he get under it? He did. Calling for it is Jeff Francoeur. Backpedaling now as that ball carries almost to the warning track. And Davis is retired on 1 pitch. He guessed right and he just missed it. 1 away. Celebrate your birds by ordering the official Orioles Maryland license plate featuring the popular cartoon bird logo. The plate a great way to show your Oriole pride and help support Orioles reach in our community, with all the proceeds going to the Orioles Charitable Foundation. Visit Orioles.com/plates today and reserve your plate. Ball 1 taken by Wieters. Now, if I ordered that plate, could I request number 14 because I was a Mike Bordick fan? You think I could get that number?
I don't know.
Don't you know people?
Yeah, I know some people. I know the same people you know. But I don't know.
See, when Palmer's here, he has people. Matt 1 out of 2 with a single. And there's a pitch taken for a strike. 1-2. In the dirt, Wieters doesn't chase. I don't recall Guthrie's follow through to be as violent as it looks tonight. Hold foul behind Wayne Kirby. Well, he's always been a high effort guy, but
yeah, we'll take a look at Guthrie right here. Dave Island worked with him on that hip turn, and you see that dramatic turn that he makes to get on the backside, and it just creates a lot of energy firing towards home plate. And he's a strong kid with strong legs, and when he pushes off, there's a lot of force behind it.
And the 2-2 is just inside, ball 3. Guthrie wanted that pitch. C.B. Buckner thought it was inside, and the count goes full. High fly ball towards the gap in right center field. That ball heads towards the wall, and it bounces down and up against the wall. Wieters heading to second base, cruising in with a one-out double. What an at-bat from Matt Wieters. Fell behind, patient, got it full, took that very close pitch for ball 3, and he's on with a one-out double.
Yeah, great swing. Another mistake with the breaking ball up in the zone, and Matt Wieters makes him pay, drives it into the gap, and Guthrie lucky that one didn't end up in the seats. Matt Wieters picks up his double, puts himself in a scoring position with one out.
So the trend against Guthrie continues. He still hasn't had 1 3-up, 3-down inning. Pitches per start, he's averaged just over 104. He's at 90 already tonight. Hardy takes a strike, 0-1. JJ single to drive in a run in the second, lined out to Moustakas at third in the fourth. And a good take. Whereas Jeremy Guthrie, he knows this mound at Camden Yards. 22-34 in his career in this ballpark. His 5 seasons with the Orioles. Off the end of the bat to center field, easy play for Lorenzo Cain. And he's got it for the out and 2 down. Now, you might say because it was a can of corn. A baseball term, what is a can of corn? Well, by the baseball definition, a high, easy-to-catch fly ball hit to the outfield. Now, the phrase is said to have originated in the 19th century. It relates to the old-time grocer's method of getting canned goods down from a high shelf. They would catch it in their apron. The can of corn would float in, just as it did there to Lorenzo Cain's glove. How about that?
I love it.
A can of corn. Guthrie loved it. Hardy hated it.
You're right.
Here's Ryan Flaherty, who has walked and reached on an infield single. Foul back the other way, and it's 0-2. For Ryan, his first hit in the series. And he fouls it off to stay alive. Good job there by Ryan Flaherty.
Well, it was. I mean, Guthrie getting ahead 0-2, but that last pitch, I don't know if you noticed that, but there was a little hesitation at the top of his delivery to just throw off the timing a little bit for Ryan Flaherty. And he's been known to do that. Just another part of his game to keep him competitive out there on the mound.
0-2 is hit foul. And fortunately for Kansas City, it stayed foul. Moustakas wide of the bag at third. It's interesting defense for Kansas City against Flaherty because Gordon, the left fielder, is well over towards the line. Yet Moustakas is wide of the bag at third.
Well, there are a lot of teams. Hitters have tendencies. If Ryan Flaherty's going to pull the ball, he will probably pull it more on the ground, and if he hits a fly ball, tendency is more straight up. So they make their adjustments. There are so many charts that they look at, spray charts for every hitter, to determine their positioning defensively.
Takes the pitch in the dirt. A ball and 2 strikes on Flaherty. Ryan has 1 home run on the year. He hit it on April 13th. He stands here representing the tying run. We're in the 6th inning, 4-2 Kansas City. And down and in.
A good take right there on a tough slider, 85 miles an hour, real hard pitch, tight rotation, tough pitch to pick up. Ryan Flaherty saw it early enough and laid off it.
Guthrie about to deliver his 100th pitch. And a strike 3 call. Flaherty doesn't like it. It flings the bat and flings the helmet. C.B. Buckner points to the helmet. That means there's a fine coming for Ryan Flaherty. A one-out double, a man left. We're through 6 at Camden Yards. 4-2 game.
highlights tonight. J.J. Hardy in the second inning delivers the RBI single, but the fourth inning proved to be the home run inning as Alex Gordon hit a 2-run home run, and then Hosmer follows it up with another 2-run home run. But Chris Davis answers back with a solo shot once again in the fourth. And this is the game summary. Royals have the lead 4-2 over the Orioles going in the seventh. Chris Davis his 10th home run of the season. Guthrie pitching strong into the sixth inning, 7 hits, couple earned runs. Freddie Garcia, 6 innings pitched, the 4 earned runs, but kept his team in the ball game.
And our Geico game highlights brought to you by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. And here is T.J. McFarland, who's having a real good rookie season. Infrequent work for TJ. He hasn't worked since May the 1st in Seattle.
Right, tough role too, coming out of the pen. Not often enough to stay consistent, but his numbers are glowing and shows the effectiveness of his pitches. Has a great two-seam fastball, sinks it down in the zone. Infielders love to play behind him. He attacks the zone. It's a lot of ground balls.
Jeremy Guthrie talking with Ned Yost and his pitching coach there as well. Dave Eiland, looks like his night might be done after 100 pitches. And McFarland misses outside to Mike Moustakas. 1-0. Moustakas has flied out to right and walked. Pulled down the line, deep down the line. That is a home run and hit the foul pole. Moustakas right down the line, a huge insurance run for Kansas City, and the Royals now lead at 5-2.
Well, for a team that hasn't hit many home runs this year, they've come in and showed that they do have power potential. Moustakas with his 3rd of the season. And this is a little slider out over the plate. Moustakas reaches out and touches it. He hesitates in the box. He thinks it's going to go foul there for a second. And it does hit the foul pole.
So 5 runs for Kansas City, all on home runs. Last night they scored 3 all on home runs. And on Tuesday, 2 of their 3 were on a 2-run home run. Francoeur to Machado, throws and safe. The foot was off the bag. That's an infield hit for Francoeur.
Well, beautiful play right there by Manny Machado, but Chris Davis, I think he was getting in the prevent and couldn't get his foot back on the base. Nice jump by Manny. Once again, the bare hand. He had to on this play, but Chris Davis's foot was off the base. He tried to get it back in time. Manny Machado becoming one of the best in the business at that bare hand play, the slow roller. Chris Davis not ready over at first, though.
Pitches high to Chris Getz. Both batters against McFarland have reached. Moustakas, his 3rd home run, a solo shot. And the infield hit by Francoeur. And one in the dirt, and 2-0. Freddie Garcia looking on from the Orioles bench. 6 innings, 4 runs on 5 hits. There's a strike taken by Getz. You know, you look at this game today and all of the different scenarios going into it. The Orioles trying to sweep a series for the first time. Kansas City's lost 3 in a row for the first time this year because of the 2 losses here as Francoeur goes and the pitch is rolled foul up the first base side. And it's almost one of those games where if you're the Orioles, you know Kansas City's upset because they lost the game the other night 4-3 on the error on the pickoff attempt, and then Wieters got the clutch hit. And they battled back last night after allowing the Orioles to score 3 runs in the 5th because of the throwing errors. They came in here right on the heels of the Tigers for the AL Central lead. Again, you know, you look at law of averages and you wonder, when is the night they're going to break out? And he got him. Real good off-speed pitch by McFarland, 1 away.
Yeah, nice action on that pitch. There you see the two-seamer and you watch it take off in under the hands of Getz. producing that swing and miss.
Aaron Crow getting loose in the Kansas City bullpen. He has not yet been in a game in this series. Escobar up top of the lineup. Fouled straight back 0-1. Escobar is 0 for 3. 3 balls in the air. Fly balls to center and right and pop up to short. This ball sliced to right. Markakis is right there. And 2 men down in the Kansas City 7th. Now back to first, Francoeur. Follow the Orioles all season long with MLB.com at bat for your iPhone, your iPad, or Android. You can get scores, stats, highlights, live audio, and more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit Orioles.com for all the details. Lorenzo Cain is 1 out of 3, but his 1 was the first base hit allowed by Garcia in the 4th and came ahead of the home run by Alex Gordon. Toss to first to chase Francoeur. McFarland, the Rule 5 pick, one of the 3 lefties in the bullpen. Good looking breaking ball there. Alex Burnett now getting loose. He's called up today. Miguel Gonzalez on the DL with the blister on his pitching hand. Here's Miguel looking on. Ground ball towards the middle. There's Hardy. He will flip to Flaherty for the force on the sliding Francoeur, and the inning ends. Kansas City adds a run on the home run by Moustakas. 7th inning stretch, 5-2 Royals. Action, and again on the road as the Birds travel to Minnesota for a 3-game series against the Twins. In game 1, it'll be Jason Hamill on the mound against Mike Pelfrey. Our coverage on MASN 2 HD begins at 7:30 with those extra presented by Jeep, and then game coverage at 8 o'clock. We've got all the access you need right here on MASN.
Yeah, it should be a great matchup tomorrow. Jason Hamill, the Orioles ace, 5-1 on the season. Great numbers, 4.10 earned run average. Mike Pelfrey, 3-3 on the year. That earned run average up a little bit though, but 14 strikeouts to 8 base on balls. Jeremy Guthrie now out of the game. 6 innings pitched, 100 pitches total. That's why he's out that pitch count up a little bit. Just the 1 earned run. And now Aaron Crow on a relief. He's been in 10 games. Look at that earned run average, 1.08. He is a power pitcher, fastball slider guy, and when he's on, he's tough to hit.
Deals at the knees for a strike to Nolan Reimold, who was in disagreement of the call.
Yeah, a lot of inconsistencies back there tonight from C.B. Buckner. A lot of hitters turning and looking. Saw Ryan Flaherty fire his helmet down and discuss a couple innings ago.
That's off the plate outside. 1-1 on Reimold, who's 0 for 2. Bounced into an inning-ender fielder's choice in the second and struck out in the fourth. One of the 3 strikeouts for Guthrie. That's low. 2-1. Crow has allowed just 1 run on the year in his 8 1/3, and it came on a solo home run. That home run hit by Alex Rios last Sunday in Kansas City. Foul back at the plate, 2-2. First round draft pick of the Royals in 2009. Coming through the minors, which was only 1 year. 1 year in the minors. He was a starter, but he's been exclusively a reliever in the big leagues. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Reimold in disbelief will walk away. Crow gets a strikeout, 1 away.
Well, probably not the best slider from Crow up in the zone, but Reimold wondering if it's still on the plate. It catches that corner. Kind of a mistake pitch, and he gets away with it for the strikeout.
There's Nate McLeod. Strike at the knees. And that's inside. Crow, 26 years old. There's a bouncer slowly at the second. Getz will charge, and he'll get McLeod for the out and 2 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by Authority of the Orioles. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Here's Manny Machado looking for a base hit to keep his hitting streak going. He has walked, bounced into a double play, and also grounded out. Strike in the outside corner. Perfect pitch. Of course, fans around here might remember Aaron Crow. He was drafted by the Nationals in 2008 but did not sign. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. When he didn't sign with the Nationals, he pitched an independent ball before being eligible for the draft again, and then Kansas City took him the year later in 2009. He pitched for the Fort Worth Cats. And Machado waves at it. He's down on strikes. And a real strong inning for Aaron Crow. 3 up, 3 down. Orioles go in order for the first time on the night and trail by 3. Game, here are the candidates. Chris Davis with a home run for the Orioles. J.J. Hardy, RBI single, or Eric Hosmer, a 2-run home run that capped a 4-run inning for Kansas City in the 4th. Text in your vote now and have your voice heard, A, B, or C, to 31826. So the run producers are on the ballot tonight. McFarland on for his 2nd inning. Burnett is still getting loose behind him. Left-handed batter Gordon leads off, and Billy Butler, right-handed batters, on deck. So by making this move with Miguel Gonzalez forced to the disabled list, it gives the Orioles an extra relief arm for the next 2 games until Saturday, when somebody will have to be added to make that start. Because of the day off Monday, they were able to get through tomorrow with everybody on regular rest, but they were hoping Miguel could make the start Saturday and decided to push him back. Bounce towards the hole, and that's going to skip through for a base hit. So Gordon is on with a base hit. He's 2 out of 4.
Well, seeing eye single here from Gordon. Ryan Flaherty almost getting there. Chris Davis upset that he didn't make an attempt, but like I had talked about earlier in the ball game, the Orioles have worked on this play where the second baseman will typically be there to make that play, and Chris Davis holds his ground at first.
So Alex Burnett will come on with Billy Butler coming up. 1 on, none down in the 8th, with Kansas City up by 3. In that pen, and pretty good numbers for the Tides.
Yeah, great numbers there. Eight games. That .77 earned run average, 11 2/3 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, 1 base on ball. So you know he's aggressive in the zone, lets his stuff work for him. He's had some success in Norfolk. That's why he's getting this opportunity here tonight.
Facing Billy Butler, and it's just inside, 1-0. Butler has a single in 3 trips. He scored on the Hosmer home run. Burnett last year 67 games out of the Minnesota Twins bullpen. He has 3 seasons of big league experience with Minnesota. The Orioles got him on a waiver claim. He had an interesting spring leading up to opening day. Breaking ball in there for a strike, 1-2. Late in spring training, Minnesota was trying to outright him, and they put him on waivers. And on March the 29th, he was claimed by the Toronto Blue Jays. They went to the Blue Jays, and a few days later, they designated him for assignment, and the Orioles got him on waivers. So he never, in fact, did pitch for the Blue Jays, even though he was in their spring training almost the entire way. Well, the Orioles took him. They put him on the 40-man roster, and that's why he was easily able to be called up for this game. 1-2 on Butler. Runner goes. Pitches bounce towards short. Big hop for Hardy. One play is at first. And Butler's retired and one away. But by sending the runner, Gordon gets to second with one down. So another one of the Dan Duquette moves. You keep adding arms. You never know. He's got a lot of major league experience. Last year, 67 games for Minnesota. The year before, 66. Eric Hosmer's had a real good night. 2-run home run and a single in 3 trips. Foul tip held by Wieters. Nope, he dropped it. And foul tip 0-1.
Well, when Dan Duquette and Buck Showalter make these moves and claim pitchers off waivers, they've definitely done their homework on the player. They know what they're all about. They know if there are adjustments to be made, that they trust the coaching staff and able to do that. And the adjustments that Burnett made in AAA have certainly been good ones. I mean, we saw his great numbers down there, and it just continues to add to the depth that the pitchers have, or the Orioles have created in their system for pitchers.
And the 0-2 is fouled off the other way. During his pregame session with reporters, Buck was asked about the dynamic of Johnson, the manager, Griffin, the pitching coach, and even Denny Walling, the hitting coach in AAA with the big club. And he says, well, they talk all the time because we have to. Dan Duquette talks to them. Buck talks to them because they're always looking 2, 3, 4 days down the road. Another 0-2. He got him. Real good pitch. 91. Hosmer couldn't reach it. He's down on strikes and 2 away.
Now that ball almost had a rising effect to it. Just takes off up and away. Hosmer a little bit giddy after hitting that 2-run home run, but can't catch up to that one.
Here's Perez. 0 for 3 on the night. There's a bloop towards right field, and that's going to fall for a base hit, and Flaherty can't get to it, and Gordon's going to score. Ryan with good hustle to try to glove it so he could keep Gordon at third. Couldn't get there. And another add-on run for Kansas City. They now lead at 6-2.
Yeah, Ryan Flaherty did do a good job getting there. Chris Davis almost got it as well, but there was too much spin on that ball as it came off the bat and kicked away from Flash on the end, getting that run in for the Royals.
That run will be charged to McFarland, so he gives up 2 earned runs in his 1 inning of work. And here is Mike Moustakas. This one hit towards left field and on at McLeod, and he'll make the running catch. So Burnett gets out of it without any further damage. A run on 2 hits, mid-8th, 6-2 Kansas City. Blue Shield will contribute $50 to support the Y of Central Maryland's Fun and Fit program. To date, the Orioles have drawn 109 walks for a total of $5,450. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and a more active lifestyle.
New pitcher Kelvin Herrera comes into the ball game. He's been in 14 games. That earned run average up a bit. But this guy is the definition of a power pitcher. 19 strikeouts. He's hit 100 miles per hour a few times this year. And he's pretty much a two-pitch pitcher. Power fastball that he has pretty good command of, and a great changeup. So you're going to see this guy in the closing role more often. He has closed a couple times this year and picked up a couple saves, but he is a closer of the future for sure.
He last worked on Monday and took a loss. That was that game against Chicago, 2-1 tough loss for Kansas City. Shields was brilliant through 8, and the White Sox able to tie it, and then Herrera took the loss. Gave up a home run to Jordan Danks in the 11th. Here's Nick Markakis. Orioles now down by 4. As Kansas City has added on runs in the 7th and 8th. Jones and Davis will follow. Nick 1 out of 2 with a single his last at bat. Fastball right there for a strike. Kansas City on the move after the game. They head home for a 3-game homestand, just like the Orioles are finishing up here tonight. Loop the other way. Fair ball, base hit down the line. Markakis rounds first. He's thinking 2. Here's the throw. It is off the bag, and Nick has a leadoff double. How's that for using the real estate?
Quite a piece of hitting right there from Nick Markakis. Tough pitch down and away as well. Nick stays down on it. You see his head position perfect just inside the foul line, and he hustles in there to second base. Gordon got to that ball quickly, had to throw it off balance. Nick Markakis with his 5th double of the season.
Well, if you're going to come back, you got to get on base. Leadoff man on here in the 8th. Orioles down by 4. Markakis with a multi-hit game, his 11th on the year, 2 for 3. And here's Adam Jones. Adam looking for a hit to extend his hit streak to 8 in a row. And takes a fastball at the knee, 0-1. Adam has not homered during his streak. 9 for 27 over the last 7 games coming in. Slap foul, look out. Runners in scoring position. The Orioles 1 out of 4. Kansas City 1 out of 2. The one for the Birds was the Hardy base hit that drove in Jones in the 2nd. Showalter's club trying to battle back. 0-2 on Jones. Check swing, and it's low. And he went too far, says Todd Tichenor at first base. Wow.
Adam Jones gearing up for that fastball, 98 miles an hour. Starts a little too soon, can't hold up on it. So the call from Tichenor.
So Herrera gets the call there on Jones. Here's Chris Davis. Davis the other way, slicing back towards the crowd, and it's back out of play, 0-1.
See those numbers. Chris Davis with runners in scoring position, 364, 22 RBIs. It's the right man in the right spot here.
Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Foul tip actually held by Perez. Pedro Strop getting loose to work in the ninth. There's Miguel Gonzalez with the blister on that thumb, forcing him to the DL. Strike three call. So back-to-back Ks after the double. That changes the inning and 2 men down.
Yeah, just challenging the Orioles hitter with the fastball, 99 miles an hour. Chris Davis, if you even think about another pitch, that ball's going to get by you, and that's what happened there to Chris.
There's Matt Wieters, who's had a good night. 2 out of 3 in RB. A single in the second, then scored on the RBI by Hardy. And then a double in the 6th. So Matt's got a 4-game hitting streak going. Now 7 multi-hit games on the year for Matt. Strike on the outside corner.
Let's look at his changeup right there. You see some pretty good action on that. A nice fade down and away. Probably off the plate, but C.B. Buckner been calling some pitches inconsistently there.
And the 0-2 is bounced towards the middle, gets to his right. He'll get Wieters, and that'll end it. Leadoff double, stays at second base. So Markakis left stranded. We'll head to the ninth at Camden Yards. Kansas City with a 6-2 lead. Orioles baseball on MASN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Oriole Park at Camden Yards. 23,282 here tonight on what has been the best weather night of the 3 games, but they did get all 3 games in. And here's Pedro Strop, comes on in the ninth.
Pedro Strop trying to get that earned run average down a little bit here. 5.73. He's run into some command issues. See the 11 strikeouts, but 9 base on balls really hurt his opportunities. Left-handed hitters 318 off Pedro this year, but still pretty dominant against righties. Just a 100 batting average. So power pitcher, just command has been his issue here in the early going of 2013. And if they can get Pedro Strop back on top of his game, this bullpen's going to be even more devastating than it already is. That's probably one of the best bullpens in the game. And they're just in hopes that Pedro Strop can get back on the right track.
You know, when you look at his season, in his last 7 appearances, he's allowed only 1 unearned run. You know, there's the feeling that, you know, what's going on with Pedro because of the big struggles in a couple of games. But overall, he hasn't pitched as poorly as that ERA suggests.
Right, but still the 9 walks is what the concern is, because Pedro's known to come in late in the ball game. He's traditionally the setup guy for Jim Johnson. You don't want to put those extra runners on base.
He'll face Jeff Francoeur leading off for Kansas City in the 9th. And there's a strike. Crisp fastball. Francoeur in infield hit his last at bat, 1 out of 3. He's just 2 for his last 19. Now back 0-2. Kansas City has the Yankees over the weekend, beginning tomorrow. That's a bouncer out in front of the plate that hit him while he was still in the batter's box, so a foul ball. Yankees and Royals play night games tomorrow and Saturday and a day game on Sunday, and then the Royals are back on the road. They go to the West Coast. So Ned Yost's team here on the road for just this 3-game series, then home for 3, repack, and off you go. Fly ball right center field. Jones gets over there. 1 down in the Kansas City 9th. Here's an update on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game, and Chris Davis with that long home run in the lead, leading J.J. Hardy and Eric Hosmer. Still time to vote. A, B, or C to 31826. And Tom and Rick will have the results coming up on O's Extra Postgame. When you hit one halfway up the bleachers, the fans notice.
Yeah. I love the long ball.
There's a strike taken by Chris Getz. Bouncer towards third. Machado towards the line. Plants and throws, and he got him.
Great play right there by Manny. And another great backhand. Eyes behind the ball. And then when you show the quick release, just plants his foot and fires it across the diamond.
Alcides Escobar has not joined in the fun, batting leadoff tonight. First game in this series batting leadoff. He's 0 for 4. And he's hit the ball in the air all 4 times. Twice to Markakis, once to Jones, and once a pop-up to Hardy at short.
Pedro's first ball. So a good sign here in this inning for Pedro Strop, attacking the zone pretty much, and a couple quick outs.
That one misses down and away as well. And 2-0 on Escobar. Hochevar's in the bullpen. It is not a save situation. Greg Holland has been working as their closer. There's a strike taken. Holland has 7 of the 10 saves. Crowe has 1. Herrera has 2. Bounces in there, 3-1. The Orioles in the 9th, down by 4 at the moment, have Hardy, Flaherty, and Reimold due up 7, 8, and 9. Fouls it back, 3-2. It's amazing how when you watch Pedro pitch, it's just the perception from line of sight from here in our booth, nothing ever appears to go straight.
No.
Everything moves.
Yeah, 2-seam fastball, 96, 97 miles an hour, moving all over the place. And of course, that hard slider that he throws.
Hit to left field. There's Nate McLouth. He's got it. And Strop has a 3-up, 3-down 9th inning. Well, here we go. Buckle up. We go to the bottom of the 9th. The Orioles down by 4, 6-2 Royals.
post game. In this game, the Orioles have not had that many chances, and the Kansas City Royals have gone deep several occasions.
Jeremy Guthrie has done an outstanding job for 6 innings, only giving up 2 home runs. On top of that, Chris Davis with another home run tonight, but Kansas City themselves 3 home runs. It's been the difference. They're down 4. They could come back.
We'll hear from Buck Showalter and Freddie Garcia after the game. Let's go back upstairs now to Jim and Mike.
All right, Tom and Rick, thanks so much. Here we go, bottom of the ninth, 6-2 game, and another pitcher comes on. So the final 3 innings, the reliever gets an inning each, and here's Luke Hochevar, who we saw in the game on Tuesday.
Yeah, Hochevar's really been excelling in his relief role this year. .79 earned run average, 12 strikeouts, 3 base on balls. He was a starter for the Royals last year, picked up 8 wins to 16 losses, and with the addition of Shields and Guthrie, they moved him out to the bullpen. He's done a nice job, still has a repertoire of a starting pitcher, but more aggressive with his fastball and his cutter. Also throws a curveball in there as well. Knows how to pitch, mix up his pitch as well. Really doing a good job for the Royals out of the pen.
Rally hats are going here. I like that hat. That's the BP version, right?
Yeah.
Here's the side version of the rally cap. That's a good one. Fold it up, turn it upside down. JJ 1 out of 3 with an RBI single. So Hardy has extended his hitting streak to 6 straight. Flaherty's on deck, and then Reimold. The due hitters here against Hochevar. Orioles need base runners. Taken high, 1-0. Herrera a scoreless 8th inning. He survived the leadoff double by Markakis. Hardy takes a strike. 1-1 the count. Good take, 2-1.
Well, we've talked about the Royals starting pitchers obviously going deeper into ball games, pitching much better this year, but their bullpen seems like every guy that comes out of that pen is throwing 95 plus.
Bounce to third, big hop for Moustakas. Hardy's out, 1 away in the 9th. Well, we have a moment. We'd like to say very happy birthday to our stats coordinator Kevin Krause here in the booth, enjoying a birthday at the ballpark. Well, happy birthday, Kevin.
Yeah, happy birthday, Kevin.
All that stuff Mike Bordick says, Kevin just hands them all night long. Here's Ryan Flaherty. Bounce towards first and foul down the line. Adam Jones and the Birds were looking for the sweep. They already assured themselves of the series win with the win last night. It's kind of amazing how that has happened to them. This is the 4th chance they had to complete a sweep. They were denied the other 3 times, and they trail here 6-2 and only 2 outs to work with. High fly ball to right. Towards the corner comes Jeff Francoeur, still coming on, and he gets there and he makes the grab for the out as he crosses into foul territory. So Flaherty got under it and 2 men down.
I think all in all a pretty good ball game. Garcia pitched well, just had that one rough inning in the 4th where he gave up a couple 2-run home runs, but kept his team in the game. And I think everybody was kind of waiting to see Jeremy Guthrie, how he was going to pitch, because everybody's heard of how well he's been doing, and indeed he threw the ball very well, very effective fastball, a lot of life, and really kind of kept the Orioles bats at bay.
Well, Guthrie's not away from making it 18 consecutive starts without a loss. He would improve to 10-0 during that stretch going back to last season. Breaking ball for a strike. Reimold has been called out on strikes. He has swung at strike 3, and Skipper's nods there tell it all.
Yeah, well, I think he's upset at the calls.
Inside, a ball and 2 strikes.
And that last pitch was actually a pretty good breaking ball from Hochevar. Perez kind of boxed it back there. Anytime a catcher drops a ball, everybody assumes it should be a ball.
Strike 3 called, and the ball game is over. And Reimold can't believe that call. Twice he was rung up by C.B. Buckner, and that's how the game ends. And the stare, Buck Showalter says it all on that call, that this game belongs to Kansas City as they got it done at the plate. 3 home runs, driving in 5 of their 6 runs. They salvaged 1 game in this series, but the Orioles do get 2 out of 3. And we hope you can join us tomorrow. More O's action. The Birds now head to Minnesota. A 3-game series against the Twins. Tomorrow night, Game 1, Jason Hamill will be on the mound against Minnesota's Mike Pelfrey. Our coverage begins at 7:30 on MASN 2 HD with O's Extra presented by Jeep, and then game coverage at 8 o'clock. And now for Mike Bordick and our entire crew, Jim Hunter saying so long from Memorial Park. Once again, our final score, the Royals 6 and the Orioles 2. Tonight's telecast, a massive presentation. Tom and Rick, O's Extra presented by PNC, coming up right now.